professional team, 3 games, it's nothing, brush it off, play on.
Yeah.
And this is something where coach really comes in handy. Like, he can talk to you, forget about that game, just
Why don't you coach him? You're pretty positive.
I'm here with you.
Oh.
That's the problem.
That is a problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Alright, so we're gonna see Broodmother and Mars banned out first. Classic. Probably Brood is gonna be banned first. Couple every single game still.
Yep.
Ancient Apparition though, he is
TNC
quickly getting into that slot where he is a ban every single series hero.
If he's not banned, he's picked up instantly together with Mars. Mars also banned out Enchantress from Vici Gaming. One thing that I'm actually peculiar at is Nyx Assassin. We don't see him as much as I expected.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's why you don't
Okay.
ban the Nyx he's picked up.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen Nyx do so well, especially with all these combos. Some beautiful Nyx Grimstroke games.
Yep.
He can just initiate on anybody and just tear them apart.
Grim Gary Nyx.
Grim, my brother,
10
Gary,
seconds
I mean
remaining.
Grimstroke.
So Nyx Assassin actually
5
is
seconds
best
remaining.
because you're denying Vici Gaming an opportunity to pick so many heroes that are bad against him, right? Anything the Tyrant gain, these Lash racks, usually in the CN region, if Nyx Assassin isn't picked up, if Nyx Assassin isn't banned, that is, he's picked up instantly with Lash.
Yeah.
So you can get those 2 heroes, or you ban out the Nyx Assassin and you open up with Lash 3. We haven't seen that opening that many times over here, but it was very popular. Now,
Vici
SCA
Gaming
actually screams a lot with CN.
Oh, hello, and talk about another popular
damn.
hero. Templar
Templar
Assassin
Assassin.
picked up second. Now, I know Templar's good right now, but I have always called Templar a rock, paper, scissor hero. She is very
TNC
good if she doesn't have
Predators
heroes that are naturally amazing.
And this is naturally amazing
There you
versus...
go.
Yeah.
I agree.
That being said, it is the Ori Templar Assassin. I feel like that kind of makes
Vici
the, I
Gaming's
don't
turn
know,
to
the
ban.
scissors against the rock
Yeah, it's the...
a little bit, like
it's a little bit different.
makes the rock a little bit less powerful against the scissors.
Sandstone, if you will. I agree with you, but at the
TNC
same time,
Predators turn
when
to ban.
people are really good at Dota heroes and then they become in the meta, I think that really affects them because they still think that they're very good, but everyone else has been having practice against that hero.
it, yeah.
True.
That's true.
So even
But-
though we all know Ori's amazing, I don't know. Go ahead, sir.
No,
10 seconds
I feel
remaining.
you. I agree with your point. I also think that when you play the hero
5
so many
seconds
times, you get
remaining.
used to be playing versus all different counters,
That's true.
which makes you better when you play against them. So it goes both ways, right? Like,
Okay.
you can make an argument for...
But I
both
will
sides.
say, very proud of Vici Gaming for banning out that Venomancer.
Vici Gaming's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining.
Overall, it's
5
something that Vici
seconds
Gaming also
remaining.
plays. It isn't that bad. Centaur banned out,
TNC
Mars banned
Predators
out. There
turn
aren't
to
too many
ban.
offlaners that are still good in the pool. Something like a Slardar for Vici Gaming might be an option, but then you're putting yourself in a position in which you're
Vici
asking Razor,
Gaming's
okay, where do you
turn
want to go?
ban.
What lane do you want to own?
Razor is good like that, you know?
The CK as well that they banned out is actually something that's played on offlane in CN. They love their offlane CK with Midas.
Vici Gaming's
It
turn
looks
to
like a
pick.
carry CK. I actually don't see the difference. They just play it on
Predators
offlane.
turn to pick.
There you go. We've been
That's the
talking about
Willow.
a lot as well. A lot of hot
Morphling
damage.
still in the pool.
Oh boy. Morphling.
I mean, we haven't seen Poyo play Morphling yet, I think. I just, every time we see Willow, I want to point it out. And last time we saw the Willow pick up and they go for Mars, but
10
this time Mars is
seconds
first
remaining.
phase bound.
Look, I'm gonna take this very rare opportunity where
seconds
I'm on a
remaining.
Valve major panel and just say something that we've all been trying to say for a long time.
Uh-oh.
Can we just get rid of Morphling? I know, right now in the chat they're saying, he's a Techies player. Morphling has legitimately ruined this game for like 3 years. All these heroes have to get nerfed and buffed because of this stupid hero. If the
Vici
design just
Gaming's
doesn't work,
turn to
I hate Morphling. Morphling players hate
TNC
themselves. Get rid of it. Be
Predators
free.
What about Rubik?
Rubik's fine.
Rubik's fine, and they go with
He can't steal
Slardar.
his ally stuff, but anyway. Slardar, as you said, nice snipe, sir.
Yep.
Looking pretty good. And Snapfire.
It's good. Like Slardar is very good with TA, opens up that rush. You can take it around 15,
10
16 minute
seconds
mark.
remaining.
But the problem is, like we said earlier, this
5
Razor, he
seconds
can pick
remaining.
and choose what lane he wants to dominate.
Yes.
Still, most likely they'll put him mid, but now they could even go for something like an Ember if they wanted to. A little bit tricky versus Oracle, but not really a big problem. They go with the Snap, gives you some multiple instances, you know, and the way to deal with TA's armor, which is nice. A very popular position 4 and 5 in the SCA and CN.
I mean, Snap just seems incredibly good this game. You got Razor chasing people around and then accelerated by Cookie. As you said, you have a bunch of different ways to get out TA refractions.
Very low win rate, though.
Yeah, well, that's because she's paired up with Mars. People think that that's the freebie or something, you know? I saw somebody else do it. Let's do it. But
That's the way of Dota, though. You just described Dota 2.
not
Every
me, baby.
single team, every single player.
I was doing Max Mana Drain Lion 2 patches.
All right.
Before it was cool.
Before it was cool.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you gotta think as Dota. Do you want to be like everyone else? Everybody loses at Dota. Only very few people win. You have to think differently in this game.
No, to be a pro player, you usually need like 53, 54% win rate. So what is that? 4% more?
You have to go 4% more.
Yeah, that's it.
That's pretty.
That's all you need.
achievable.
That's all you need. That's all you need. But also you have to play thousands of games and keep that 4% above.
Predators
True.
turn-
The mid.
Mankey King. Oof. What do you guys think about Mankey King? Real talk.
He was dead for such a long time in the seasons, at least. Like, this hero was not picked up.
So at some point it was picked up so often and it
10
was so popular
seconds
that everybody
remaining.
picked it first too. And then at some point that stopped working, so people thought the hero
5
in
seconds
general
remaining.
stopped
But
working.
it got
But
nerfed.
but
Vici
here,
Gaming's
picking him up
turn
4th
to
or 5th, I think it can still be good. I think it can still work.
It can. It's pretty decent versus TA, right? A lot of those clones of your hitting her. It's decent. Should be a decent lane versus Slardar too, even though it might backfire. It's Slardar plus Dark Willow is no
Oh
pushover
my
lane.
God.
Yeah, that's scary. So, not really.
5 seconds
I'm still not feeling
remaining.
Monkey King as a really
Predators
strong
turn
hero.
to
We've
ban.
seen Secret as well play it. It didn't really work that great
No.
for them. I just don't.
Let me
I don't
sum
feel
that
like
up.
I feel like there are better carries.
Yes, Monkey King poo poo. Not a good hero right
Thank you,
now. I
thank
don't
you,
think
thank
so.
you,
Alright.
Gary.
I mean, how
that's-
does a Monkey King survive the laning stage,
10
especially with
seconds
something like a
remaining.
Slardar Dark Willow? You get hit by one
5
spell, you are
seconds
literally
remaining.
at half HP for either one of those heroes.
Can they swap the lanes around and maybe put Monkey versus
Vici
TA?
Gaming's
Monkey
turn
mid?
to ban.
Does that work?
It
Monkey
has
TA
happened once.
is actually an interesting lane. Like, I've seen monkeys win it, but right now I feel like TA is just way too strong, way too complicated,
TNC
and you'd
Predators
rather just
turn
put
to
the
know, BSJ, what do we think? They don't really pay me to think, to be honest. They just pay me to see things and say what's happening on screen. You're the thinking man here. What do you think about that?
So it doesn't require you to think to tell us exactly what's
No,
happening? That's
absolutely
impressive.
not. For example, right now, 2 people on screen, 1 red shirt, 1 blue shirt, guy with glasses, looking pretty handsome.
Oh.
So I don't have to think.
You talk about the guy with glasses. That's pretty cool. Okay. And then if that's as natural to say about me as you made it look like, then I feel really good about myself right now. I was thinking the Morph was a potential pick when the Willow was revealed, and there were still 2 other picks from TNC and 2 bans for them, and they gave it to him anyway. This Morph Willow combo is pretty bonkers, and it's also a very good matchup against the Razor because you can break static link with the waveform, and you're also a hero that can threaten a Monkey King during his ultimate and also easily disengage from his ultimate. So I think it might just be too perfect of a Morphling game.
Let me throw one more in there before Aghanim Scepter. Turn into the Razor. Right?
Absolutely.
Getting static link on Morphling is super scary. If he turns into a Razor and starts draining away damage from Monkey King, I feel like that fight's over.
Yeah, one of the few
30
buffs that
seconds
lingers if you turn back into the regular Morphling. So you can capitalize not only on the buff, but also the innate stats that Morphling has, as opposed to something, who was it that was talking about it? It was the Wyvern, or not the Wyvern. Wyvern also lingers.
Wyvern lingers, yeah.
Oh
that one's
gosh.
scary. A Morphling just shooting
Oh, it's
at
the
you.
Wyvern Ags that doesn't linger.
Oh,
That's why
okay.
they were talking about turning into a ally Wyvern with an Ags, but since it's a toggleable skill at that point, it does not linger. Yeah, that was... Morphling's got some funky stuff going on with the hero, but Willow, the most broken part about it is he gets bonus range, he's pumping out oodles of damage, and he's untargetable.
Yeah. All crazy stuff. And we get some weird things like the waveform attacks target. He does that while he's Shadow Realming, and they're applying Shadow Realm hits as well. Like, there's just so many dumb, silly things that are super good, super OP about this combination. TNC on the back foot here. Not just in the series, but also what we're talking about sounds like a bit of a draft problem for them as well. Just this, you know, last pick Morphling, super scary. So, what does TNC be able to get ahead of this big combo?
It is, I would say, 2,000 to 3,000 net worth ahead of the Morph on the Monkey King because it's an early farming item, and then turns that into a Roche and map control prior to the Axe coming out.
Okay.
It's all about that Axe timing, because he's probably going to go Manta then Axe, maybe just Yasha then Axe, and the problem is, if Morphling has space to farm, that also implies that Ori on the TA will also have space to farm. So then you're going to have multiple problems that are hitting you from all sides. A lot of mobility coming out from most likely Blink Slardar and TA and a waveform morph with the save behind and a difficult support to burst with the lineup that TNC has. It just seems like on paper, the skill set of all the Vici heroes scale very well naturally against those of TNC's.
Oh, nice hop over from Boomy, gives him the cookie, and that is enough to be able to get the Jingu stacks. They lay out the Boundless Strike, and they actually get this kill. If they keep the vision, they just might be able to, but they're both stunned towards the end of it, and it looks like Old 11 will be able to reset, get away, and pop a healing salve. So they need to be able to win lanes, sounds like to me, right? You want to be able to win this Monkey King lane. They also picked up the Razor against TA, which is a big counter. Brambles should keep Gabby at bay. No, he actually works his way around it. The Boundless Strike, he's getting another hit in. The shot comes in. That's enough to slow him down for a second hit from Gabby. First blood goes to TNC.
Yeah, this is exactly what we need to see. TA is going to struggle in the mid lane. Razor's a hard counter in the lane, but he's not like an Ember Spirit or a Veno or a Viper that we see that is a hard counter all game, because the link is going to be naturally broken by the blink of the TA because of the refraction allowing you to do so, even though the Razor will be attacking you. So it is so much on these lanes. It really is. They went so much all in on these 1v1 matchups early on, and I think the bigger picture is just so heavily in favor of VG that an even game is not going to be good enough.
And we did see TNC, like they showed potential of taking over a game. Last time around, they were doing a really good job. It felt like in some ways they were actually outplaying Vici Gaming, and then that one team fight happened. They lost all momentum from there. This lineup feels like if it does take that, they'll definitely be able to keep that momentum. Nice sidestep though. As you said, Gabby is able to deal with this one. Now turning fire, 2-man Boundless Strike. That's going to be a lot of damage. Not that Old 11 is even going to die. TNC continuing to win this bottom lane.
I don't think Monkey King's all that favored against Slardar, even though he is a pseudo-ranged melee hero.
These guys are so bloodthirsty.
Yeah,
It's like, you could probably just leave PYW. Like, Gabby's missing out on a ton of CS right now.
I thought I had time to talk there, but that just goes to show that there are no brakes on this train.
It really isn't.
What was on that courier? I wonder if it wasn't Boots because he's got him queued up. So if it was Boots, that would have been very costly.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of gold that he accrued from the kill that he's now unable to spend for an extra couple minutes. So that is a more crucial courier snipe if I've ever seen one. Because you're supposed to have that net worth advantage on the back foot of that.
Is he like completing Orb of Corrosion or something?
That
first
was probably it, yeah.
Stun completes, Old 11 gets away. Yeah, that early Orb of Venom pickup by Gabby has done some serious work in this lane. Last hit on the center, nicely done. The wave is going to cut in though. Gabby tried to bring it back, keep it out of tower range, but doesn't manage to do so in time. 3-0. Wasn't TNC up like 10-3 or something last?
9-2 is what I recall,
okay.
so maybe a 10-3 was in there as well. Boomy looking to invade the Ancients' future stack of Ancients, blocking it up with the Observer Ward. I like this a lot because Razor is going to inevitably boot the TA out of lane, and it's usually not that bad of a matchup for TA because of the easy access to just backing off to some camps.
Yeah.
And we see there the pressure on the Morphling. They don't actually have any kill threat on this guy unless they manage to catch him fully agi-morphed with chain stuns.
Boom, he blocked in by his own creep. He was so determined to try and stop this pull that was happening behind the tower that he suicides for it. To skewer, long range poke doesn't quite clip DY, but they're gonna trap him potentially. No, DY does a nice loop-de-loop. Instead gets caught by the impale and eventually does go down.
I'm not gonna lie to you. You just talked about them pulling creeps and then said loop-de-loop, and all I could think of was loop-de-loop and pull. And your shoes are looking cool. If you guys know what that's from at home, you have gone up a notch in my book. Do you know what that's from?
I don't know what that's from, but I'm presuming that is how is some sort of rhyme for you to tie your shoes correctly.
Absolutely, it is. It is the best rhyme to know how to tie your shoes correctly.
It is what 5-year-old Brian learned, and he kept that rhyme with him ever since. Do you say it out loud when you're tying your shoes?
Anytime I hear loop-de-loop, I think of it in the back of my mind, and the pull just made it like, oh, it's just too good. There were 100% people in chat that were thinking it, and they were not courageous enough to say it out loud that they were, and admit it to themselves.
That's what Brian is here for.
Yes. No shame. Continued aggression bottom.
Yeah.
Going for a diffusal blade on the Monkey King. That is one way to make it much more difficult for Morphling to carry this game, because the attribute shift now costing mana much harder countered by the mana burn than he was in the past.
So I've got some real old mechanics here. I just don't know if it's still the case. Hold up, Gabby. He's got phase boots. He's kind of tanky to this, but DY is going to be joining into this fight as well. And watch, he's going to wait for the Jingo and look for the purge opportunity. He throws it out, but he already got the bound the strike immediately afterwards. So the damage has been done. The Slardar falls. DY is cleaned up by rotation from the Razor. Looks like because of Shadow Realm, a Dark Willow will manage to get away. My mechanics question was, Diffusal Blade, does it still count as an extra hit for refraction's sake?
Oh my god, you're killing me with the mechanics today.
Dude, you know all the mechanics, and I've been nailing you with
you
ones you
actually have. I'm really proud of you. I think this might be the most in a row, 2 in a row. That is the problem. Is I don't play TA, so I should I know stuff like Clink's arrow and stuff or Searing Arrows is extra procs, but I don't know about Diffusal Blade. I will be looking that one up, or if you want to ask for me.
Old 11. He will die to Armel, who's still hanging out here in the bottom lane. He didn't expect them to just still continue to sit here, but now he doesn't even have a TP back to lane. He's gonna have to do a long walk of shame. Gabby not gonna fearlessly dive tier 2s, and I feel like TNC should be pretty happy with the aggression they're outputting right now.
7-1 kill score. They're feeling good about themselves, but this is about what we saw in game 1, as you mentioned earlier, and it's a similar story with the terms of scaling. What team looks better late? Yes, I know they have Monkey King, but conceptually,
Radiant's
Morph
middle
TA
tower
is just
is
so
under
good against this
attack.
stuff because they're going to cast their spells, and if you can disengage from it, Vici's lineup will punish you. The chase potential is immense, and the cooldowns are just not there. They are on a constant uptime for Vici.
The bonus damage is dealt in one instant together with the attack damage. So.
Okay.
And it's probably like a really old, if I had to guess, maybe even a Warcraft 3 mechanic that I was thinking of.
I will say that my gut was saying that it didn't work because that's just one of those things that I feel like somebody in Twitch would have been like, yeah, did you know you could have bought the fusion there to counter the TA? I've just never even heard that. So
Basically, you're saying you knew it couldn't be that way because otherwise somebody would have backseat games.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
That usually is a pretty safe assumption because at some point that would have been like people feel real good about that stuff, and I respect that, guys. It's perfectly fine being a mechanics nerd.
Knowing your obscure mechanics is it does have its place. Absolutely.
I like how much attention TNC is putting on this bottom matchup.
Radiant are
Watch
scanning.
Tim's die here. It's a classic support death. You know, you wander somewhere around the mid lane and oh, I ran into a trap. Oh, there's another trap. Okay, I guess I'm dead.
Oh, he's gonna lay another trap.
Yeah, that's
Can't really check runes against TA casually like that. You gotta have a sentry pretty much everywhere. They do have 2 in the river. Looks like that last one was planted a bit late because that is where he died. Okay, so Armel, I like this rotation. Razor's not a standard rotate to take towers type of hero. They can't kill the Morphling, but Morphling also can't occupy this lane because he'll just be forced to waveform away. This is the cool walk it you play, no counterplay form of a gank that heroes like Razor, Viper,
Radiant's
Necrophos
bottom tower is under
can make in a
attack.
game.
Dire's top tower
Look
is
how
under
close
attack.
he was to that sentry. Oh man.
Dire's
Calculate.
top tower
Very
is falling.
calculated.
He did have a
Nicely done.
sentry of his own
Dire's
earlier
fortified.
that would have seen a sentry if it had been there. So I think he knew that he was safe.
Yeah, Boomy. Gonna be chased underneath this tower, but immediately the RP is gonna go down. Turns around, cookies the 2 of them as
Okay.
well. Great combo from TNC. They're even gonna have to clean up kill on DY on aisle 3. Dominating streak.
Okay.
Gabby.
Well, that's exactly how you're supposed to kill the Morphling. He just gets caught underneath one stun. The cookie, I've seen it happen multiple times now. We saw it, I believe, in Beast Coast earlier, where you are on the
Dire's
other side of a
bottom
tree
tower
where the
is under
Morphling doesn't
attack.
see it coming, and he has to react on the time the guy's like in the middle of the leap. And that's pretty difficult. I wouldn't hold anybody. I would not test anybody on my team with, hey, make sure
Dire's
you survive
bottom
against that
tower
cookie
has
reaction
fallen.
time.
Yeah, it's certainly something that you're probably not expecting, and similar to last game, though it does feel like they have a bit more of a net worth lead than they did last time. 10-2, 3,000 net worth lead. The only hero that's really having a great time in this game for Vici Gaming is Ori, who's just doing the standard, farming up Ancients a whole bunch.
Yeah, the fact that he's not #1 net worth, though. TA, she wants to be on top of the game. Morphling, I'm definitely concerned for his space. I talked about their lack of ability to kill him, but they have the threat if he's alone. So that's the Nyx, the pure damage. He is Morphing up, though. He's going to be forced to play around his team, and that's not what you want. Heroes like Morph are meant to be independent. You don't have to camp them, which allows you guys to play much more aggressive on the map.
They were trying to bait Tim's earlier, and they may still be able to catch him. The Spike Carapace catches back on a Yo as he turns into the Nyx Assassin. They both get impaled. Curse Crown coming in, but at the same time, Mortimer's Kisses, okay, turns back into the Nyx Assassin for a Spike Carapace to be able to counter the Snapfire on the enemy team. That was a cute little play there from the Morphling.
And most notably, Slardar is now having the
Radiant's
space
bottom
to...
tower
Okay,
is
he
under
went for a
attack.
Vanguard, but the space to complete his Blink. He's their Catalyst. Yes, there's a lot of damage to follow him up, so the minute he has this, he will be quite a threat. But TNC's got a solid 3 or 4 minutes before that's an issue, and they've got a pretty hefty net worth lead to capitalize on just that. Snapfire, very good support for taking those early
Dire's
towers with the minus armor from Lil Shredder. And the Empower on the
Dire's middle
Razor,
tower
not
is under attack.
exactly a traditional Empower
Radiant's bottom
hero.
tower is under
Has the haste
attack.
rune TPing bottom.
Yeah, he's actually setting up behind them here with that TP. Went into the trees. Ooh, does get caught by the crush there. Thrown up in the air by the Yule Scepter. Was that our Mel's own Yule Scepter? Well, he's still got a haste rune. He can maybe catch up to somebody, but yeah, a little bit surprised he didn't Yule's the Slardar. I have to imagine he must have been a little bit scared that there was going to be a lot of Vici Gaming heroes running him down.
He got amped, and if that TA decided to melt strike him,
Yeah.
he could have been in for some hurting. That's probably like a 3-shot, if I had to guess.
That's fair enough. Well, TNC, they're not going to let these towers go down without a fight, though. As he rotates back to the mid lane, this time around they won't have a TP from the Razor. In fact, they won't have several TPs, so I believe now they're going to give it up. Unless...
I like the decision making. They decided to not trade originally, went for the counterplay, and then fail. It didn't fail necessarily, but you didn't get anything out of it other than just deterring the tower push from Vici. Now they just take the trade that most teams would consider favorable, the tier 1 mid.
Well, they took it so fast that they can actually be here in time and catch Vici Gaming. In fact, the Wukong commander's already out. The Templar Assassin is surrounded by units to terrorize. The Mortimer's Kiss isn't quite enough, but they know where he is, and they've got the AoE damage to finish him off. Basically the carry of Vici Gaming at this point, the highest net worth hero, falls as they take the tier 1 tower. And immediately smoke back.
I love this tempo of the game that TNC is setting. They have to do this. I talked about that. I was so scared of how well Morphling would scale, but they are not looking to let him get there.
No, they certainly aren't. What a big difference. What was Ori playing last game? I forgot now. Oh god, neither one of us remember.
Bottom tower is under
I'm gonna say he was playing something a bit more tempo.
Medusa.
Oh, Ori. DY? Oh, it was Puck. That's what it was. I was gonna say, it feels like this time around, Vici Gaming aren't able to stop this aggression because they've got a Templar Assassin who just wants to hit Ancients right now. Morphling on one side needs to hit Creeps. Slardar, who didn't go fast Blink Dagger, went a Vanguard. So they just don't have anything, and TNC's like, okay, we'll just keep running at you.
The reason why I don't like this Vanguard is the idea behind it is, as we see a potential... Okay, phew, I'm allowed to talk. So, the Vanguard is, in my eyes, you pick it up on like the axes, the centaurs. It allows you to occupy lanes and be more aggressive on the map because of that. Thus, kind of like an aggressive version of a Midas. It's enabling you to farm more, right? But he can't occupy lanes against any of these cores. Monkey King shows up, he's going to boot you out. Razor shows up, he's going to boot you out. Notice how Sardar's still playing on his own side of the map. So I'm a bit skeptical about this being worth it to delay your Blink Dagger, but he is going to have it in 400 gold.
Yeah.
So let's look for something to happen from Vici. They seem really good at picking fights when they have their backs against the wall. They have to choose a very specific fight that's going to get them back in the game. And I imagine it's going to be once they get that Blink Dagger.
Then we may see a turn, which Vici Gaming has done several times just today, being maybe a little bit behind or even just even, and then getting certain timing, getting a big team fight. Let's see, Roshan is looking to fall for free here. Vici Gaming not around to contest. So at this point, giving away the Aegis. Armel is actually not sticking around in the pit, so maybe it's going to go to Monkey King. He's going to make sure there's nobody close by to jump inside the pit. Gabby with an Aegis means that he can be super independent in this game. He can be split pushing all over the map, knowing he's got a second life to be covering his risks.
That feels really nice on Monkey King to have that in power.
Is a great conductor.
Because you have this diffusal, for some reason I didn't even think about it in terms of his itemization. You're allowed to be aggressive as a kill threat, which means people also interfere with your farm less because they're scared of you.
Yeah.
And so you effectively get more farm and you're farming faster, which is awesome.
That was a problem with the old Monkey King, right? Is that sometimes he was really good in that patch, but it was like, okay, you're gonna go Battle Fury, and then you're gonna go Aghanim Scepter, and that was essentially kind of like two farming items. Here, this Empower makes Gabby come online so much faster.
Almost surprised we're not seeing even more mag than we already are. I remember seeing a Diffusal Faceless Void with the mag, similar idea. Heroes that don't usually want to skip those farming items, and it makes them have this era of passivity around this time in the game.
Yeah. But
they're quite capable of dishing out some serious damage with just a Diffusal.
All right, stealing each other's damage.
Morphling stole more.
He did. Oyoyo. He's gonna have to hit and run with that damage though, because he knows more TNC members are probably closing in.
And just look at the map. Slardar. Only one farming lanes. In no way is that rapid.
Yeah. No, it's certainly not. Or he's gonna come over here and take some of that farm. After all, he still needs to hit that big, like, 3-item peak, would you say? I feel like it's Dragonlance, Desolator and then BKB, and that's when TA is like, oh god, how do we deal with this hero?
Yeah, I thought he was going to have to go a Blink Dagger to break the static link and to disengage from the Monkey King ultimate, but because they're behind, he might just need to all in the damage to look for bursting targets.
No, you're right. He is still going to go that blank. There's not a ton of magic damage on TNC anyway. Refraction's going to block this initial hit of damage, but they still got it.
Oh, no, he has Yules on Razor. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's why he bought it, by the way, guys.
Yeah. Razor is really great at forcing fights. One thing's lacking, stun.
He's got the Bloodseeker syndrome.
Yeah. That's why Rod of Atos and Yule Scepter, very common items on those heroes.
Oh god, he's going Halberd too.
Oh, I like
so good against Morph and TA ranged heroes. It does last longer, Cap, than it does against melee.
Yeah.
The bounty which my matriarch
Solar Crest from Snapfire. This is definitely a game of armor. You got the Razor minus armor from his ultimate. You have all physical damage from Mag, Monkey King, as well as the Razor, so all 3 cores on that side. And then if you look at the other side, yeah, Morph is a little bit of mixed damage, but you have Morph, TA, and Slardar. So any little bit of items like this will drastically impact which carry wins the fight when they just clash with each other.
Dire's top tower is under
All these
attack.
AoE disables. And poor PYW's not having a fun
Dire's
time.
structures are fortified.
And he's actually going for the E-Blade on the Morphling, realizing that all-inning the physical damage and relying on the Ags plus Willow combo is not exactly in the cards based on how far behind they are. He's not going to be able to stand his ground and fight.
Maybe a bit of dysynergy with the Templar Assassin, but you kind of got to do it.
Yeah, I think it's an adjustment that they didn't plan to make, but I think it is correct.
Yeah.
It's not horrible. You have like decent magic damage from the 2 supports with the E-Blade to finish off a target. And Nyx Assassin, Monkey King, Razor, they are the type of heroes that you either need to catch them off guard in the case of the Nyx Assassin so he can't get the carapace off, or with the Razor, he does like a little bit of a long drawn out fight. He doesn't want like the Veno duration of the fight, it's like 30 seconds, but he wants that full static link to go off.
Yeah. Tim's one trap into another. Now he does hit a really nice impale, and they have the Mortimer's Kisses as well as the Razor coming in. Oh no, the sideball! Watch out, Armel! Nice RP though. He bails him out. Bo, he's gonna skewer him in. It turns into a boundless strike. They are AoE chain stun comboing on. Vici Gaming, it's just beautiful. But Vici Gaming is still looking to be able to stay a nice blink away. Or can he keep this run going? The Oracle's coming in, but he doesn't have his ultimate anymore. He can stop the magic damage, but the refraction's burnt out. They've got him.
I gotta give props to DY here. As
got him.
There was a 3-man on peak that he had to false promise the Morphling, and he must have targeted his hero portrait at the top, because there's no way he could have purposely done that just by clicking on the hero.
Yeah.
As, please, Poyo, don't make me eat my words and commend the Oracle who saved you and make it all for naught.
He's got an E-Blade that he just picked up and doesn't have the mana to use it on himself to dodge all these hits. Yikes.
It's like, I praise the support for saving the guy, and the guy he saved just... That's like a caster's curse by proxy or something like that.
And again and again and again, Gabby is just there to catch these heroes trying to escape from a one-hero setup.
Tim's, I would say, is the one that's all over the place. That's he's just constantly hunting, setting up these engagements. You saw his carapace onto 2, as well as the impale onto 2 that originally started that fight.
7,000 net worth lead for TNC. This time around, there isn't that one team fight that is stopping the momentum. They are continuing to run at Vici Gaming, and they've put together some excellent team fights so far. I feel like they haven't really lost an engagement this entire game. Roshan's got to be up in 2 minutes. That'll be the next timing for them.
The thing about Monkey King as opposed to Drow, we found ourselves in a similar spot from TNC. They have a carry that's willing to fight like they did in game 1, but this is a carry that runs at you rather than kind of sitting on their own side of the map waiting for you to try to invade. And I think TNC seems to flourish a lot better in this setting. And I really like what they're pulling out. I did not expect this game 2, especially after what we saw game 1, where they did have a somewhat of a commanding lead and managed to drop the game anyways. I'm much more confident in their ability to close this one out, but this E-Blade from Morph is their way back into the game for
Radiant's
Vici.
bottom tower
They
is
have
under
it.
attack.
Will they get the crucial pick off? It's going to be this Aegis, because if they get Aegis and Cheese, you'll be able to pop that Cheese because they're relatively limited on actual disables on the side of Vici. Slardars are all pretty low duration. They're kind of just like constant little stuns. And either target, the Razor or the Monkey King, is just not going to be burstable anymore.
It's funny, we're watching Tim's right now, the Nyx Assassin, and I wasn't sure about this hero pickup. It was a double melee lane, for example. We haven't seen a whole ton of Nyx Assassin. I feel like ever since they took away the break mechanic from his ultimate and the nerf the shard, his hero hasn't been quite the same, but Tim's is certainly showing that it is still very viable. And against the greediness of Vici Gaming's lineup, he's done a great job of finding pickoffs. Has he gone a little bit too far? Look at him, he's just headlock going straight for them. He pops his space carapace, and that's enough. The rest of his team is now here. And in fact, he may not even die. Overleven's going to come in, a three-man crush to be able to finish off Tim. But you can see the Templar Assassin is always on the run. Managed to pop the refraction and blink away with a false promise on him, but PYW is receiving the brunt of the damage that Razor had just stolen away. One last jump here from Gabby, tries to go for the slaughter. May have caught him in the river, but it's PYW who's unable to escape in the trees. Neither land, nor river, nor sea. It seems like everywhere they go, TNC's got the answers, they've got the catch, and they are killing Vici Gaming heroes.
I think you really should have ended that sentence with TNC, because you said anywhere in the sea, and then you could have rhymed it.
You're right.
And it was just a missed opportunity. But who didn't miss their opportunity, that's TNC, because they are just full speed ahead, as this is no sign of stopping, no reason to stop. They're buying a bunch of super cost-effective items. Even just the playmail component of this AC makes it infinitely harder for them to bring down Armel. Talks about, other than that E-Blade, they're almost 100% physical damage on the side of Vici's cores. And they're going to get this second Aegis. Ag Shard, who are we going to give it to? I'd say Monkey King. It's a pretty nice Ag Shard. It's something you usually don't buy, but it accelerates your ability to just jump around the map. It makes it so you have a reduced cooldown and a lower cast point on when you're jumping from tree to tree.
Look at Tim's. Vendetta's out, breaks the smoke. Vici Gaming trying to go for the supports, but they've got Spike Carapace, they've got Ghost Scepter, they're able to protect themselves, and the team is still trying to finish up this road. The strike stopper from Bocarito takes him on out of the pit, skewers him away. Bocarito turning into the Monkey King, is going to try and deal with that, but he's losing all of his allies who followed him into this pit. At first, it's going to be Old 11 who's dead. Bocarito does manage to get the shot out that finishes off Boomy. That's one dead, but a little bit of a pause there, as it looks like maybe TNC having a bit of reconnect problems. You can see Armel is not where he's supposed to be. He automatically got sent back to base. That is unfortunate.
You know, you take what you can get.
Still, though.
On the side of VG. This is... Look at those kill-death ratios on TNC. 9-0-7 on Armel. 8-0-8 on Gabby. 3-0-10 on Bach. That is a combined 20-0-25 on the cores. Yes, you could have guessed that with the kill score potentially, but there are 6 kills.
Away back inside the game. The boat sets up for another skewer that will ensure that PYW dies. Does manage to get out the terrorize last second. Armel's back into the game, and he has already drained away the Templar Assassin. Turns that damage back around on a DY, on a Boyo-Yo. They're dead. Armel is beyond godlike. Gabby is godlike, and TNC are winning this game.
Radiant's top tower.
Are you saying like they're
in the process of winning?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, you don't want to spoil like that. Some of the viewers at home may not be able to read numbers at the top of the screen.
Yeah.
No offense, guys. Most of you are very high IQ, but there are some of you.
Yeah. I don't think you have the stragglers sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think Cap should necessarily be a spoiler for anyone out there. As Gabby has the Aegis, Scotty's almost complete. Yurk gets 2 ranged cores. That slow is devastating. Not to mention the lack of the heal reduction against the Morphling attribute shift, which is reduced by heal reduction.
Dyer's middle tower has fallen.
Vici Gaming gonna lose their tier 3 tower, and watch as TNC resets. They do have Boomy coming back in. Okay, an RP just onto 1 to make sure that Old 11 is gonna be, oh no, false promises. Oh, he will be able to blink on. Okay, he's gonna be able to blink, but he's taking so much damage. Is he actually gonna die? I don't think he's received a whole lot of heal, and he hasn't. He bottles up futilely as much as he can from Ori, but he is still dead. 2 gone on the side of Vici Gaming, and TNC, well, Thought they had something maybe there for a second, but no.
Yeah, just poking and prodding. If there was somebody over there, they definitely would have been dead as all hell.
Tim's doing something similar, blinking forward, just trying to throw out the impale. He misses, and it's in a bit of trouble. Nope. Pops a vendetta, and now it's bo2 who's gone in too far. Skewered back into a cookie. Broomy was set up for the long con on that one, and now the long shots of Mortimer's Kisses will finish off the Morphling. More rain of fire happening as the DY trying to get away on the Oracle. Disarms himself, turns around, purges up Armel, but he had a cheese, so he's going to be okay for now. The Boundless Strike actually missing DY, so he's still here. Disarms the Monkey King, but he cannot disarm Boomy, who actually puts the shots in to finish off BYW. Gabby's ready to go, and Vici Gaming start charging forward. He's got the Wukong's command, and he's got an Aegis too. Vici Gaming, they may have to give up 2 lanes of barracks at this rate. Oh, Meld Strike coming out, but Armel actually dodging both of those, or maybe he just
he just has an Assault Cuirass.
Oh god, he's got too much armor that even a Meld hits doesn't seem to put a dent into this Razor's HP. 2 lanes of barracks it is. Vici Gaming will stay alive based off the fact they've got a tier 2 bottom lane.
Yeah, really good itemization from TNC. It's just picture perfect, man. The Diffusal, the Echo Saber, super cost-effective items that are buffed up by the Empower. Manta's like a pseudo BKB form that also benefits from the Diffusal, and it removes all the roots and the amp from the Slardar. And then you talk about the Razor with the Yules, Halberd, AC. It's just exactly what I would imagine. It's just looks so fluid, so smooth.
Everything just connects together. It's like the puzzle, you know, and you put the final piece in that's right in the center, and all of a sudden, picture is complete, and wow, it's just gorgeous. And Gabby, well, he's looking gorgeous, but he's also maybe looking a little in trouble here. Fortunately, a cookie will bail him out. Thanks, Grandma. And Gabby now looks to re-engage off of that Aegis, off of Folk, and his attempted skewer back still. Nothing doing.
If I was having a tough time, probably nothing more I'd want than a cookie from there.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's not necessarily about the nutrition or the sugar that's in the cookie. It's more about, you know, that Grandma's got your back.
Yeah, and the cookies also have smiles on them, which you can look at it as you're eating it. It's an infectious, positive emotion.
They actually jump forward. Spike Carapace is fast enough. Bro, Tim says he's able to hit both of those heroes with an impale as well. The RP onto both of them. Vici Gaming, you've been answered in so many ways. TNC, they have just taken down bit by bit each one of their heroes, and now they're ready to take your final lane of barracks. As Gabby, he is not scared of the rest of Vici Gaming hero whatsoever. After all, he still has that Aegis to work with.
Just call it. This is embarrassing. They're just pummeling them into the ground as he's not even hitting the buildings. Gabby's just jumping in. He's got a couple other extra building hitters that Assault Cuirass makes everyone do a pretty good amount of damage.
He wants some more of those stats. The cookie comes up. It actually stops him down and strikes, so maybe not quite 3-1. PYW trying to save his own life again, terrorized as he dies. And I believe Cores, they still not have a single death to either one of their names. Yep. 0-0. What a clean game. Tim's almost dying there. Give him an assist. Give him an assist. Yes.